Are you thinking of moving to a new country? We've made a list of 10 countries people regret moving to, where culture shock is real, weather is unpredictable, the cost of living is high, and the only thing that will make you feel alive is jet lag. Number 10. UK. Many expats found the UK's weather and high cost of living challenging, as the country is infamous for its dark and dull rainy climate and long and depressing winters. Although the country is cheaper than most Nordic countries and Switzerland, it is still expensive compared to the Asian countries. So a person who settles from Asia to the UK finds it hard to adjust to high rents, property prices, and taxes. Others ranted mostly about the healthcare system, which, although cheap and provides decent service, is a lengthy process. You have to wait for weeks to get a doctor's appointment, which can be frustrating for someone with serious health issues. Number 9. Egypt. According to many who move to Egypt, as long as someone is rich and has some kind of bond with the government, then Egypt will be like a paradise. If not, they should immigrate soon. Some claimed that when they shifted to Egypt, the first thing that shocked them was the culture. Although giving tips to everyone is mandatory in Egypt, and the process is called bakshish. It was natural when the bellboy or the taxi driver asked for bakshish. But what surprised the immigrants was when security guards and even airport staff asked for tips while holding hostage their personal belongings. Another regret is when they found that Egypt has road safety issues. The country also has one of the highest road death counts, where drivers won't stop their cars until they're about to hit someone. Careless driving by the locals is normal to witness, so expats will always have to be on guard when they are driving or crossing the road. Number 8. Qatar. If you are a big fan of Fast and Furious, Qatar can be a thrilling destination for you unless you are the one driving a car. Many expats complained about Qatar's road safety, and although it isn't terrible like South Africa or the US, it still stands as an issue. Qatar also has a dry and warm climate, so people who weren't accustomed to living in extreme heat found the weather difficult to bear. The country also has a high cost of living, as most of its goods are imported. So if expats do find their favorite brand of wine or coffee, they are always pricey. Number 7. Japan. People who have moved to Japan while thinking they would live like an anime character, reality smacked them in the face like a wet salmon fish. Instead of finding 7 mystical Dragon Balls, they found a big ball of disappointment. The work-life balance in Japan is poor, leading to stress, anxiety, and even mental illness. The term karoshi, meaning overwork death, is well known in Japan, and 1 out of 5 workers is considered at risk of karoshi. The government, however, has limited overtime to 45 hours per month, yet 37% of companies still engage in illegal overtime. The toxic work culture is one of the many reasons why some regret moving to Japan, complained about the difficulty in finding a decent place to live, as not all Japanese landlords are open to renting to foreigners. Thus, there aren't too many options for an immigrant, so if you end up in a rabbit hole that is 270 square feet, you have to deal with it. At least you won't have to worry about losing your phone, as it will always be within your arm's reach. Number 6. Canada. If you are considering moving to Canada, be prepared to endure long, harsh winters. Snow shoveling becomes a full-time task, and public transit systems experience delays or cancellations during extreme cold. The cost of living is also high in Canada, which made many expats face difficulties, as affording a decent house or even a one-bedroom apartment felt like a luxury. The country's import taxes result in imported goods and services becoming expensive. A few immigrants also shared their job-seeking experience, which was a total nightmare, as companies often prioritize someone with Canadian experience or credentials, even if the applicants have a wealth of expertise from their native land. Canada also has a cap on the number of immigrants who can settle there each year, and the government has introduced a point system that favors individuals with in-demand skills. If someone has more than 466 points, then only can they get permanent residency. While the country has a lot to offer, these were some of the issues that made expats feel concerned about their decision to settle. Number 5. USA. While most people work to live, foreigners widely reported that in the US they have witnessed residents there live to work. The USA indeed has a lot of opportunities. However, it looked like it was the only positive thing about the nation. The one common thing immigrants faced in the US was racism. Yeah, unfortunately, discrimination and prejudice are still present in the country. Another thing why many regretted moving there was the crime rate, especially gun violence. Sadly, because gun regulation is lenient, and so far in 2023, more than 11,000 deaths have been caused by firearms. And let's not forget America's expensive healthcare system. If someone falls sick, it's better to book a flight ticket to the UK or India and get treatment there. The overall expense would still be cheaper than your hospital bill in the US. Number 4. China. Many expats complain about China's hygiene issues. The standards for food sanitation are low, and knowing that most restaurants don't follow strict hygiene, a normal dine-out can turn out to be a nightmare. And just like Japan, China too has a poor work-life balance. If Japan has karoshi, then China has 996. It means most companies' employees work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and 6 days per week. Another thing is the Chinese government monitors your internet access, and it's almost impossible for foreign companies to enter their social network world. Immigrants had to adjust to the local social sites, which can be a bit challenging. For some, it was frustrating initially as they felt isolated and lonely in a new place. Number 3. Vietnam. Breathing in Vietnam is like taking a puff of a cigarette. Many expats regretted that the human body only has 2 lungs. That is what the high level of air pollution made them think. Another issue that many faced in Vietnam was the noise level. If you want to live a peaceful day, then carry some earplugs because wherever you reside, you will always find construction work happening. Number 2. Brazil. People who relocated to this country mostly because of endless sunshine, samba, soccer, and beautiful women ended up getting mugged, lost in translation, and bankrupted by the cost of living. This isn't an exaggeration, as although Brazil is vibrant and beautiful, the country is among the top 9 countries with high crime rates. In 2022, 40,824 homicides were recorded in the country, with an average of 112 deaths per day. Vandalism, robberies, shooting, and mugging are common to encounter even in one's home, and many expats have advised those moving that if a sudden noise wakes them up in the middle of the night, don't just go to sleep. Kuwait. Many expats found Kuwait's quality of life extremely poor, where they had to face difficulties settling in, finding suitable housing options, feeling safe, and having overall health issues. Littering is a major problem in the country, and sometimes the streets are covered with garbage. Others didn't feel welcomed and most of the time felt out of place, and with limited leisure activities, adjusting to the new country felt like a challenge. And although Kuwait is considered cheap, many found its high cost of living, such as high rents, high school/college fees, and expensive basic goods, difficult to adapt to. However, Kuwait and all other countries on the list offer unique experiences and opportunities for those willing to adapt and endure. It's also worth mentioning that not everyone who moves to these countries will face these issues, and for many, it was a good decision to immigrate. We hope you enjoyed this video. What factors do you think are important to consider before moving abroad? Comment below and we will see you in our next video.